Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. 51st day sitting, second section of the 55th Legislature of the Republic of Liberia, Tuesday, November 18, 2025. Agenda and order of business. 1. Call to order. 2. Devotion. 3. Roll call. 4. Reading and adoption of the agenda. 5. Unfinished business. 6. Report from standing committees. A. Report from the Joint Committee comprising the Committees on Public Corporations, Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petitions, on quote, the Liberia Sea and Inland Ports Decentralization and Modernization Act, unquote. B. Report from the Joint Committee comprising the Committees on Public Corporations and Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petitions, on quote, the Liberia Sea and Inland Ports Regulatory Act of 2025. C. Report from the Joint Committee comprising the Committees on Labor and Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petitions, on quote, an act to amend Chapter 22, Social Security of the Decent Work Act of 2015, to provide for equitable compensation across the board for employees upon retirement, unquote. D. Report from the Joint Committee comprising the Committees on Ways, Means, Finance, and Budget, and Education and Public Administration, unquote, and I to ratify the financing agreement between the Republic of Liberia and International Development Association, RDA, Program for Advancing Youth Entrepreneurship Investment, PAI, Project A, the Liberian Youth Entrepreneurship Investment Bank, unquote. E. Report from the Committee on Lands and Mines on the confirmation hearing of Honorable Arrow Matoneke Timba, Minister Designate of the Ministry of Mines and Energy. F. Report from the Committee on Lands and Mines on the confirmation hearing of Honorable Sumo Samuel Momolu, Assistant Minister for Mines Designate, the Ministry of Mines and Energy. G. Report from the Committee on Lands and Mines on the confirmation hearing of Honorable Samuel J. Somerville, Assistant Minister for Mineral Exploration Designate of the Ministry of Mines and Energy. H. Report from the Committee on Internal Affairs, Governance and Reconciliation on the confirmation hearing of Honorable Fatima Binta Sadiq, Deputy Minister for Urban Affairs Designate of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. 7. Business on President's text. A. Communication from the President of Liberia on nomination made in government. B. Communication from the President of Liberia submitting the following instrument for enactment, quote, Alternative Dispute Resolution Act of 2025, unquote. C. Communication from the President of Liberia submitting the following instruments for enactment. 1. The Bank Financial Institutions and Bank Financial Holding Companies Act of 2025. And 2. An Act to amend Title 30, Public Authorities Law, Liberian Codes of Law revised to establish the Liberia Insurances Commission, unquote. D. Communication from Senator Joseph K. Jala of Lofa County submitting a bill for an act to transform the Zozo Rural Teacher Training Institute, ZRTR, into Zozo College of Education, the Junior College of Education in Lofa County, today for second reading. 8. AOB and 9. Adjournment. Madam President Pro Tempore and Presiding Officers, the reading of the provisional agenda for today's session.
Distinguished colleagues, you've heard the reading for the agenda for today's sitting. What is your will and pleasure? Senator Jala.
Madam Pro Tem, I will move, if I can get seconded, the general just read be received and open for discussion. So moved.
It has been moved and seconded that the agenda be open for discussion. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? Any intervention? Senator Smoke?
Madam Pro Tem, I have a major AOB, and my readiness would be that for mine, AOB would be, the suggestion would be that it falls directly on the President's decks, and that happens to do with the persistent threat and insults I will continue to receive from agents of the executive in the discharge of our duty. Madam Pro Tem,
Within the
I'll
matter?
mention what our opponent will be.
No. Oh, you didn't mention it already?
The persistent insult
Okay.
from agents of the executive to please come honor business on President's desk.
After communication from the president, Senator Chair,
Yeah, Pro Tem, there are rules. I would like for item number H, 6H to be deferred for next sitting. So I have
6H,
Yeah, to give me enough time to the rules.
report from the
Consultation.
6H,
Yeah,
the confirmation hearing.
yeah. No, that's our rules. We can act like this.
But I know that there was a second confirmation hearing. There was a second confirmation hearing yesterday.
Yes, so the rules.
So the rules.
So Thursday we can get back.
All right. You question the credibility of the protest because for an answer to the air will not be on the agenda. No, I approve communications on the agenda. But that's AOB, so okay. For Thursday, we defer to Thursday. Our question was repeated yesterday. They said they had to do a second hearing. Any other intervention? Any other intervention? Motion to adopt the agenda. All in favor say yea. Against? Secretary of Senate. Koga, you didn't object to it.
I'm not saying no, but we should quote that. We rule.
Secretary of Senate, Senator Koga already passed that agenda.
I agree, but I agree.
No, we already passed it, so I said that when it was on the floor.
Section 1.
Secretary of Senate. They said that they received the report, nobody objected to that.
Business on President's desk.
Happy,
Communication from the President of Liberia on nomination made in government. Republic of Liberia. The President. November 14, 2025. Senator Yomili Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate. In section. Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore, I am pleased to submit herewith the following nomination, pending Senate confirmation for appointment in government. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Ethel Davis, Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs. I would greatly appreciate if this is given expedited confirmation by the Senate so as to ensure smooth transition in the government. Kind regards, sincerely, Joseph Numa Boaka Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. First communication. For nomination.
Distinguished colleagues, you heard the reading of the communication from the President of the Republic of Liberia nominating Pastor Ethel Davis to the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs position. What is your will and pleasure? Senator Chair.
I will listen to the reading of the communication for the President, making nomination to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I move that the communication be received and forwarded to the Committee on Foreign Affairs to put to plenary upon the delivery.
Without restating the motion, are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? Secretary of Senate, they act accordingly. Next item.
Business on President's desk. Communication from the President of Liberia submitting the following instrument for enactment. Alternative Dispute Resolution Act of 2025. Republic of Liberia, the President. November 13, 2025. Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Senate, Inspection. Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Dear Madam Pro Tempore, I am pleased to submit for the current consideration in the enactment of the Honorable Legislature a proposed bill entitled the Alternative Dispute Resolution Act of 2025. This legislation establishes a comprehensive legal framework to promote a fair, efficient, and cost-effective resolution of both commercial and non-commercial disputes through recognized alternative dispute resolution (ADR) mechanisms, including arbitration, mediation, conciliation, and negotiation. The bill harmonizes and incorporates relevant provisions from existing Liberian laws, specifically Chapter 7, Commercial Arbitration of the Liberian Commercial Code, Chapter 7 of the Liberian Code of Laws Revised, Article 64, Arbitration, Title 1 of the Civil Procedure Law, the Liberian Code of Laws Revised, and the United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, the CITRA, on CITRA, the Modern Law on International Commercial Arbitration of 1985 as amended in 2006. In addition, the bill establishes two key institutions: the National Alternative Dispute Resolution Authority, mandated to oversee, coordinate, and regulate domestic ADR processes and standards, and the International Commercial Arbitration Center, tasked with managing international commercial disputes in accordance with the UNCRTRAL model law and best global policies. The Act further recognizes and integrates the ADR functions of the Liberian Authority and affirms the jurisdiction of clan, chieftaincy, and traditional structures as institutions of first instance in rural communities. Importantly, it prohibits and criminalizes harmful and dehumanizing customary practices used in dispute resolution, particularly those involving the cohesive evidence gathering, punitive sanctions, or extrajudicial enforcement, and delineates the appropriate referral of criminal matters to either ADR mechanisms or the formal judiciary. Upon enactment, Alternative Dispute Resolution Act of 2025 will expand access to justice, particularly for disadvantaged and marginalized populations, alleviate congestion in the formal court system, and reduce case backlogs, minimize pre-trial detention rates, and lower government expenditures associated with incarceration and judicial processing. In light of its transformative potential and alignment with national justice sector reform objectives, I urge the Honorable Legislature to give prompt and favorable consideration to this bill. Sincerely, Joseph Newman Boaka, Senior President of the Republic of Liberia. Madam President pro tempore.
Distinguished colleagues, you heard the reading of a communication from the President submitting an instrument, Alternative Dispute Resolution Act of 2025. What is your will and pleasure? Senator Moy.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. The Honorable President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, distinguished senators, having listened to a communication from the President of the Republic of Liberia submitting an act to establish an Alternative Dispute Resolution Act of 2025, I move, if I can obtain a second, that the bill submitted be tabled in the office of the Secretary of Senate, and this first presentation be served as the first, and then after the second reading, said instrument be forwarded to the relevant committee, if I can obtain a second.
Without restating the motion, are you ready to vote? On readiness, Senator Dillon.
I'll be ready to vote if the movement will agree with,
You use your microphone.
if the movement will accept the amendment to the effect that this bill be brought back on the next agenda by title, in keeping with our procedure, I'll be ready to vote.
Accept.
With that clear, are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? Motion passed. Secretary.
Business on President's Day. Communication from the President of Liberia submitting the following instruments for indictment. The Bank Financial Institutions and Bank Financial Holding Companies Act of 2025 and an Act to amend Title 30 Public Authorities Law, Liberian Code of Laws revised to establish the Liberia Insurance Commission. Republic of Liberia, the President. November 13, 2025. Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Senate midsection. Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Dear Madam Pro Tempore, I am pleased to transmit for the current consideration and enactment of the Honorable Legislature two proposed bills that are central to the government's ongoing efforts to strengthen and modernize Liberia's financial sector. These bills are as follows. 1. The Bank Financial Institutions and Bank Financial Holding Companies Act of 2025, and 2. An Act to amend Title 30 Public Authorities Law, the Liberian Codes of Law revised to establish the Liberian Insurance Commission. The first bill seeks to repeal and replace the existing Bank Financial Institutions Holding Act of 2025. This initiative is driven by the regulation that the current Act does not adequately reflect the full scope of institutional and sectoral entities it was intended to regulate. Its present structure has resulted in interpretive ambiguities and the potential for inconsistent application. The proposed legislation aims to resolve these issues by harmonizing the legal framework governing bank financial institutions and bank financial holding companies, thereby enhancing clarity, coherence, and operational effectiveness. The second bill proposes the establishment of the Liberia Insurance Commission. This is in fulfillment of my commitment made during the State of the Nation address on Monday, January 27, 2025. The creation of this commission represents a pivotal milestone in the transformation of Liberia's insurance sector. It is designed to institutionalize a modern, autonomous regulatory body that adheres to international standards of governance, consumer protection, and financial sector stability. Honorable Pro Tempore, as you are aware, the government remains resolute in its commitment to enhancing the integrity, resilience, and exclusivity of the financial sector, an essential pillar of national economic development and sustainability. These proposed bills represent a significant advancement in that endeavor. Together, they aim to establish a robust legal and institutional foundation for the regulation of bank financial institutions, bank financial holding companies, and insurance industry. In view of their strategic importance and far-reaching implications for financial sector reform, I urge the Honorable Legislature to give prompt and favorable consideration to the enactment of these bills. Sincerely, Joseph Newman Barkat Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia. Madam President Pro Tempore. Yes.
Distinguished colleagues, you've heard the reading of a communication from the President submitting two instruments titled the Bank Financial Institutions and Bank Financial Holding Companies Act of 2025 and an act to amend Title 30 Public Authorities Law, Liberia Codes of Law revised to establish the Liberia Insurance Commission. What is your will and pleasure? Senator Chair.
Having listened to the communication from the President, I move that the two instruments be received by plenary and the Senate Secretary will be mandated to bring them back on our agenda on Thursday. Meanwhile, copies should be made for the consumption of our senators.
Was it seconded? We've already stated the motion. Are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Again. Motion carried. Secretary.
Business of President's Desk.
Now you're coming behind the floor for.
A bill for an act to transform the Zozo Road Teacher Training Institute, ZRTR, into Zozo College of Education, a junior college of education in Lufa County, proffered by Senator Joseph K. Diala of Lufa County, today for second reading. By title.
Second reading by title, Senator Nukwe.
Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues, by special request of the proponent for this act, I move, if I can be seconded, that having listened to the second reading of an act to transform the Zozo Rural Teacher Training Institute, ZRTTR, into the Zozo College of Education, the Junior College of Education in Lufa County, that said act be referred to the committees on education and judiciary to report to plenary in 2 weeks.
Without restating that motion, are you ready to vote? On readiness, Senator Sarah?
Thank you, President. I will be ready to vote if the Committee on Ways, Means and Finance is added to the committee because it's going to carry some financial implications to have the junior college.
Move it. Is that clear? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say yea. Against? Nobody voted? Nobody voted for it. All in favor say yea. Against?
Right.
Secretary of Senate.
Report from standing committees.
No, Senator Snow made a request to have his AOB right after the business on President Dex.
Resistant insults from agents of the executive. Proffered by Senator Edwin Melvin of Bomi County.
Yes, Senator Snow.
Thank you, Pro Tem. Pro Tem, our Constitution provides for 3 branches of our government: the legislative, judiciary, and executive. The legislative branch of our government, as per our Constitution, is to provide oversight of the other branches of government. It is fast becoming a precedent that in the discharge of our duty to provide oversight, we are either being insulted or accused by public officials. Not necessarily by the ordinary man in the street, but by officials of government. Months ago, the Committee on Foreign Affairs invited the foreign minister here, and we have some concerns. Expressing those concerns, we talk about the misuse of diplomatic passport. People on aircraft displaying their diplomatic passport, putting on social media. And I was insulted by 2 officials of government. They went on the airwaves, they went in the papers, they insulted me for providing or expressing my concern. I went on a talk show and I stated that I want this government to be a one-term government. It became a crime. The Ministry of Information doctored a statement and accused me of trying to destabilize the country and prevent investors from coming to this country. I complained formally to the Senate, and the Senate leadership took seize of the matter, and I'm still looking forward to a resolution based on the discussion that was held. Last session, I wrote a letter to this plenary that it is alleged that a gambling center is being opened at ELBC. The Director General of ELBC, in his response, went to the social media and ranged insult, this time not just on me, but even on the Senate. Questioning the Senate, insulting me, and went on. It has happened in other senators, but I will use one other example so I won't hijack the floor. Senator Darius DeLong has been talking about the issue of work permit. In response, the Minister of Labor went to the Ministry of Information on the government platform and said he was nominated by the President to be Minister of Justice, and that Senator Darius DeLong rejected that nomination, and that's how he became Minister of Labor. He didn't stop there. Social group, which is not that important, but even his own political party that he chairs gave a formal statement accusing Senator DeLong of attacking Nevadians. Even accused Senator DeLong of attributing to the death of Senator Johnson that he doesn't like Nevadians. That which I consider a threat to his presence. his life. Madam Pro Tem, if these actions from agents of the executive and state actors go unnoticed, today it might be Edwin Snow as an opposition, a proud opposition. But what about DeLong, who's a member of the ruling party, and that's why I use him as another reference. We all here will be under attack one day or the other. My prayer to this Senate is that we deem a right to act now, or we forever hold our peace. Because when we begin to go around, nothing is happening today, we begin to go around, we all sit apparently and see what will happen. But I think it's a gross disrespect to the Senate. It infringes on our constitutional responsibility that in the discharge of our duty, we are either being threatened or we are being insulted, not just by the ordinary people in the market, but by officials of our own government for doing our job. I submit.
Thank you, Senator Snow. So, anybody want to speak on this matter? Momo Cyrus?
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Thank you so much for the opportunity, distinguished colleagues. I've heard and Edwin Snow's concern about how public officials are attacking legislators for doing their oversight. Madam Pro Tem, you have always asked us to be robust in oversight. And so, if public officials, especially agents of the executive, can begin attacking legislators for their oversight, it's a grave concern. When I mounted that podium a few weeks ago, when we came back here for our section, I raised the issue in my deliberation. I said that agents of the executive attacking senators, and not only senators, but other stakeholders in our country has a security implication. What this scenario is doing is bringing tension in the country. And when tension is in the country, it's a security concern. These people that has been abused or disrespected by agents of the executive has their own constituents and their own followers. If they feel disrespected, their followers feel disrespected, and they as members and citizens of our country. But the point we need to escalate these things. There is something in security called early warning. And early warning is kicking in here. People are getting disenchanted, people are complaining, and Madam Pro Tem, under your leadership, if nothing is done, it may bust up to something different, and there'll be a crisis. Crisis doesn't happen in isolation. There are persistent activities that lead to crisis. People get disenchanted, people complain, and nothing is being done, crisis erupts. So Madam Pro Tem, as chair of the National Security Committee in the Liberian Senate, and analyzing the situation, this situation has a serious security implication, and we need to de-escalate it now under your administration. Thank you.
Sarah Coker?
Madam Pro Tem, colleagues, let me firstly thank Honorable Snow for flagging the issue. Madam, I think we have 3 separate branches of government, as you rightfully said. And those who are allegedly making some derogatory statement against the legislator are from the executive branch. I think we need to catalog this thing and write a precedent formally, informing him about the behavior of the cabinet ministers who are involved in such practice. From there, whether action will be taken or not will derive a logical conclusion. Let us not be dealing with the minister, invite, oh, you said this, or you said this,
When you said it publicly and the recordings are there, I make a formal presentation to the president. Now, the one that has to do with Senator DeLong, I am one of the senior executive members of the Movement for Democratic and Reconstruction. Having heard this, we have had a series of consultation with the executives member of the party. At no point in time the party had ever reached a decision to make a statement as it been purported. And I can stand here and tell you as one of the executive members. We are still investigating the issue. It's very serious because we got to dichotomize between the party and the governance system. Minister Kua is a minister of labor. If there are issues emanating from there and it's between they and the Senate, I think it should be addressed at the ministerial and the legislative level. The party involvement come in with some level of sentiment, in which had a propensity to make or to look differently. Because the law is for a political party. When the other political party is coming for information, the hate political party too may come out with reaction that will be counterproductive. But Madam Pro, the issue with the labor minister, I think we are making some level of mitigation. In that we want a clear fact to come out as to whether these information emanating are factual. Not every issue we discuss at time in the open, but we play some leadership role behind the scene. We are initiated it, and the discussion is ongoing. We will get to this other party appropriately to curtail what is unfolding, that people are looking at it like which something they buying or which something Councilor Kua and etc. So we want to assure you that our colleagues on DeLong relax and rest assured that the issue will be resolved in a possible manner, that all of us will see the clear picture. Thank you, Madam.
Sarah Nimler.
President, thank you very much. All of us in here are members of government, of this rescue government. Whether you're opposition or you're unity partisan, you are a member of this government. In management, there's something called performance review. When you hire somebody, you are responsible for their behavior. When they do good, the credit goes to you as a government who hired the person and the individual himself. When the person misbehaves and you do nothing about it, the discredit goes to you as the person who hired the person and the person who misbehaves. By now, of all the months that we have spent here in the House of Senate, by now, I think the president should be aware of who is performing in this government and who's not performing. Nobody inherited any position in this government. If you hire a minister and the minister is misbehaving on another branch of government, that person needs to be disciplined. And if the person is not disciplined, then the president should be held responsible. So this is not an issue that we should be dealing with up and down in this chamber. Once a minister insults a senator, that issue goes directly to the president. Why should we be calling the minister to find out why you insult the president? The person you hire has insulted us, and the president will call for investigation, and not us calling this person in. And I think if we continue to do that, quite often we keep calling the minister, why you insult the president? The last time we sat down here, the man supposed to have come to apologize. He did not apologize. He continues to go out and to make reckless statements. So why should we bring this issue? But let it go to the president. If the president can't discipline this person, then we find out that it's the president who is encouraging him to continue to insult this place. I think it's good
for opposition to be in government. Sometimes when we speak here on this floor, it's all the man of opposition. But you will not look at your man that you're supporting and say you got coal in your eye. It is the opposition that say you got coal in your eye. You might take it as an insult, but when you look in the mirror, you will see that coal and you will remove it. That is the job of the opposition. So we're not here to bring people down, but we are here to look at the issue, because when they shape wreck, all of us wreck together. And we want to make sure that we work and we perform and our citizens enjoy. Thank you very much.
Senator Chief.
Now you.
You chair.
Protest, I'll be brief. I just want people to recall that people say what goes around comes around. When it started, the public affairs director of the Ministry of Public Works insulted us. We did a report recommending certain steps. People on the floor start saying, where is freedom of speech? Yeah, let's go here. Let me say it, freedom of speech. We're back to the same thing. Why are we crying? Yeah, we're going to report here, this is the flow. People will say, oh, the freedom of speech, and I get the right to talk. So let's sit down and let people talk. Thank you.
That's why you sitting down now.
That's it now. Yeah. Moving around.
But we can't do it.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Senator Chair. If we're wrong before we can.
Good. You were wrong before we can fix it. And let's fix it. Sometimes I disagree with my colleagues who are making the suggestion to the Fed tax. Refer this matter to the executive. The executive, by our law, the president. Our law recognizes one person, the executive. That's the president. Constitution. Look, not hearing you.
Use the microphone.
Let's put them. We have oversight over the executive and the judiciary. And the Constitution also gives us contempt power. But the suggestion about taking the matter to the president, it's not no coordination that the Constitution provides for. That's to do with separation of powers. We have our legislative power that we should exercise as a legislature, in this case the Senate. But if we allow the executive to usurp our powers, then this kind of things will happen. And if we don't understand that we have certain kind of powers given us by the Constitution that we can exercise, then this will happen also. And of course, if we are so partisan about everything here, then this will happen as well. So the former president said, yeah, this will happen with us. We're on it here. We said, no, it was wrong. We should take disciplinary action against the public affairs director. Somebody at that level, not even a minister, director, not even appointed by the president, instructed this august body. And we're part of this over here. We did nothing. So yes, other people saw that as a weakness on our part. So that's why they are capital action on today. So I'm happy that you said, yes, you were wrong yesterday, but today we should correct. So we need to correct it. And for me, my suggestion is that we cite Director Pagong under the penalty of contempt. And then come here to show cause why he should not be held in contempt. Let's set an example on him to send a message to the rest of them that if they behave similarly, the wrath of the Senate will fall upon them. Let that message go. That's what we do. Thank you.
Senator Taylor, followed by Senator Yatwine.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Distinguished colleagues. Madam Pro Tem. Madam Pro Tem, distinguished colleagues. Under the 54th Senate, I was from the opposition. Under the 54th Senate, I was from the opposition, and I was allowed to be critical. And I was critical on the issues. I stood on this floor almost every session to fight the government to remove Wabodigi from government. I was not anti-Nigerians. I was not anti-foreigners. I was standing on the principle of the law that people who do not meet certain bare minimum legal requirement or qualification cannot occupy government offices. In fact, I was jovially referred to as Wabodigi. By the time I raised my hand here, the whole Senate would laugh, Wabodigi. But I told them, distinguished colleagues, I was in opposition in the 54th when CDC led this Senate. But we pushed, in line with our oversight, for Zorizo, peace be to the artist, to be denied Senate confirmation. No, I want Senator Lugwe, the person who can be serious, I want to don't take us seriously. Honestly. Yeah, please. Madam President, distinguished colleagues, Toga Nimlen was named designated chair to head LERC, the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission. He was CDCN under a CDC gavel. We led the Senate to reject it. Madam President, Dalito Kale was nominated by President Weah, a CDCN, under a CDC gavel. Our Senator Dillon, we led that main rejection in the Senate. We were opposition. But I protest, distinguished colleagues, for 3 years, I did not vote for the budget on the record because I was demanding domestic debt list. Once they are here, never did we hear that we were anti-coup people because Samuel Tue and John Weah are coup people. Where is nonsense coming from? How about you? Please. Madam President, distinguished colleagues, where is nonsense left threatening coming from? That when you speak on governance issue, oversight, then you are supposed to be anti-NIMA. My left is threatened, my left is at risk because the people who speak in, I know them. Manapotem. Manapotem.
It's not a NEMA thing, so it can't be interaction with.
Manapotem. The Minister of Public Works
That what happened.
must be brought before the Senate. The Minister of Labor. I want to make a case. If it makes sense, okay. If it doesn't, fine. I can live with it. The Minister of Labor did not go to his house to make a wild allegation to the effect that he was nominated by President Joseph Numa Waka to be Minister of Justice. His nomination was formally communicated to the Senate in keeping with the law and the practice, and that our Darius Dillon, as senator, fucked his nomination in the Senate until the president withdrew him. He did not say that in his living room. Madam President Pro Tempore, all of us in the Senate, in our Senate chat room, we have the video. The Minister of Labor, he is angered in our exercise of our oversight responsibility on the work permit issue, went to the government-funded, sanctioned press conference at the MICAT, Minister of Information, where he said on video, live, that Senator Dillon is against the people from NEMA. It's the same way I'm targeting him because the president nominated him. His letter came here and I fought it until the president withdrew him. In a same press conference at the Ministry of Information, regular weekly press briefing, the Minister of Labor said that that's the same target I used to target Senator Prince Johnson, peace be to an artist. And that's the same thing I'm doing to him for another NEMA person to die. But I told them, I'm not afraid, but my life is threatened. Your life can be threatened. Why are you being in front of the threat? You understand? I want to make it clear. Our honor job via government and our declared national security threat. I couldn't even move places. But the reason I'm making all these statements in this chamber is because all these things are happening. When the labor minister came here as a nominee, he sat there and I asked him about work permit, what we would do about work permit to give our people jobs, and he committed. And I told him that I will vote for you so that after 6 months, you can give us what we're doing on the work permit issue for our people to get jobs. And in the exercise of that duty, when I confirmed that labor minister and I being my protest distinguished colleagues, I want to make it clear that he was not a cool man when I confirmed him. He was not Bassa. He was not VAR. He was from NEMA when I confirmed him to be Minister of Labor. So my questions on his performance, especially when it has to do with work permit issue, cannot be now that because he's from NEMA and Gilman. Let me go further. In the sanitary room, I put a video. The Assistant Secretary of MBR, who is a staff at the Ministry of Labor, went on the radio in Nima County to rally Nima County that I killed Prince Johnson. And I want to kill another Nibaya again. Manapotem, distinguished colleagues, Mr. Sandra Bay is the Deputy Director of Communications at the Ministry of Labor. He and 2 other quote-unquote civil society institutions issue damning statements against me. He is the Deputy Communications Director at the Ministry of Labor. Manapotem, the minister has said MDR, the people who talking on their own, MDR itself has spoken. Everything the gentleman said to the people of NEMA, in NEMA, on the radio, that I'm doing everything to frustrate NEMA from becoming president. I'm undermining the rescue government unity, and I I'm doing it because Liberty Party is all kinds of stuff. The gentleman said all of those things. And in our official press conference, all those things are enumerated there. The Minister of Labor himself had gone to government platform to say these things. He's the chairman of MDR. MDR Deputy Secretary has spoken. MDR herself has spoken. What one of them were penetrating business is NEMA business coming. When I fought here for us to do domestic debt, even at that the CDC government did not say I was after cool people. But what happened today? After audit of domestic debt, officially the GSC reported that the government should not pay $704 million in domestic debt on verified claims. Imagine if we are not fought to bring domestic debt issue to light. Book of claims. This is not job. This is no job. You got overzealous people. They'll do anything. So I'm asking the Senate, and let me close. I'm making a case for Mr. Eugene Fagon to be brought before the Senate. Because what he said that we have on tape, video, in our chat room and on social media was not against Senator Snow, was against the Senate. Was against the Senate. At this point in time, Liberia has seen plenty quote-unquote heroes. But by the time they die, they are forgotten. Especially all kind of way. My leg is threatening. I'm serious about this. I have no negative will toward NEMA. I just committed my vote. All my colleagues here know I hardly do that. To commit vote in advance, especially doing confirmation hearing to somebody. I committed to Martina Getimba last week because he performed, he convinced me that he can be a good minister of mines. I committed that vote. He's not from Grand Bassa County. He is not from Riverside or Sano or Grenville. He is from Nima. Senator Taylor, I could be lying down one day. I know those people that are talking. During the war, when war started from Nima, everywhere a Nima man who had gone entered, he said, "Bob, because he expected everybody to be from Nima." I know them.
Hold on.
I know them. I know them. They will say that they will defend one another. When you put in there, then they agree. I was on that.
Sarah, you have to
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Madam President, let me begin by thanking Senator Snow. Senator Koga. What do you mean? You tell me what to say here? You let people come here? Thanks to Senator Snow for outlining in a very articulate way the chronology of disrespect towards senators, if not lawmakers, by members of the executive. I think to begin with, we shouldn't give people the platform for the performative, flow that they want from us. The first suggestions of, that were put on the floor to refer this matter to the president and the executive will be in line. If we bring people here, put them on an oath to ask them why they can't be here in contempt, they're already in contempt for being disrespectful. How many times the Senate has not communicated to the president about decision that the Senate sees prudent on policy matter? How is it different from disciplinary matters? We can carve our own disciplinary matters and send it to the executive for the president to act. Instead of giving a well-organized stage on the floor of the Liberian Senate for people to come and perform here, how much punishment will be meted against them besides going to jail for a few hours? So let us carve a way in which we can communicate this to the executive and describe their punishments. There are punishments that will hurt people either in their pocket, or that will bring them, or that will impugn them. And having said that, let me, on behalf of the people of Nimba, say to Senator DeLong, whatever threat you keep emphasizing, it is not by and through the people of Nimba. Few elements that are overzealous can make any comment. I stand, against the kind of violations that Mita Sikeron in Nimba. How many times did you see my own people having press conferences against me? People have press conferences. Mita induced people, women group calling me names, people, writing all kind of things on Facebook, how, I signed for money, somebody paying me. It's part of the bad political culture that we found ourselves in. So the people of Nimba are people who are law-abiding, peaceful, and very friendly. There is no authority in Nimba threatening you. You are a brother that will have nothing against but admiration because of your stance, some of which benefit Nimba. So we will take the words of few disenchanted politically paid agents to reflect the views and aspirations of the people of Nimba. We are decent people. That's why we will stand on this platform and approach them to say that insofar as we are hurt by some of the comments against you because of your stance by those kind of paid agents, I think you took it a little bit too far as well, and we take it back that you would think that during the war, Nimbayans were here all over the place, people say everybody to be Nimbayans. That was not the case. And I know we didn't choose for the war to pass through Nimba, but every one of us became participant of the war, and even some people were very, brutal in it at last. So we want to assure you that we're going to have some consultations with some of the elements that are making a comment are not even, who even know what are they from Nimba? And they feel that you have identified from Nimba, definitely, they don't represent us. For heaven's sake, I am one of the senators from Nimba County. This is another one. And that was not the superintendent making the comment. It was not the chief editor from Nimba. It was not the youth leader of Nimba. Nothing. These are paid political agents. And so their comments should not becloud our decent character that we stand for. But we're going to make sure that we will definitely have consultations. And our people also can be assured that Honorable Kopakura, being the Minister of Labor, whatever he does in his functions of his daily life cannot also be a Nimba issue. In as much as he's one of us and will do everything possible to respectfully protect him at some point in time while urging him to do the right thing, but he is not Nimba and Nimba is not him. And so I want to say thank you for the platform, Senator DeLong. Don't be threatening. The people of Nimba are not threatening you. They love you. Continue with your advocacy. And as much as it will benefit the entire country, I don't think that we should be bringing people here to get stardom to them. Honorable Fagon, the Minister of Labor, or the guys from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, this Senate must make a decision if it is convinced that these people are in error for us to recommend disciplinary action to His Excellency to be meted against them. I submit.
Thank you, distinguished colleagues. I think we've heard everybody on the floor, but I will say here, in the spirit of coordination and to resolve this matter, we'll seize the matter. Leadership will make an arrangement to meet with the President, the Secretary of the Senate. Please communicate with the mansion and make the appointment for leadership to meet with the President to address these issues. Thank you, Senator Taylor. Please come and preside. I have a meeting.
Even in your substance, you said it well funny.
Police, Senator Nyatwayan. Senator Nyatwayan, approach the president. Senator Nyatwayan, approach the president. Senator Koga. Senator Koga. Senator Koga, approach the president. Senator Koga. Senator, approach the president. Secretary of the Senate, please proceed with the agenda.
Just received a communication from the President. Republic of Liberia, the President. Senator Yomri Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate, Capitol Building, Monrovia, Liberia. Subject: request for legislative action to de-ratify the TIA-LTA concession agreement. Dear Madam Pro Tempore, I am pleased to extend heartfelt gratitude to the legislature for your unwavering dedication to the service of our nation. Pursuant to investigative findings of the General Auditing Commission, GAC, the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, LACC, and the Board of Commissioners of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, LTA, I hereby formally notify the legislature of the executive branch's decision to suspend the concession agreement entered into between the LTA and Telecom International Alliance, TIA, for telecommunication traffic monitoring services. The decision to suspend the agreement is based on the identification of multiple statutory and procedural violations, including but not limited to the following. 1. The contract was awarded in contravention of the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, PPCC, Act of 2010. 2. All required legal procurement processes were bypassed. 3. TIA was incorporated in the state of Delaware, USA, only 4 days after receiving bid documents, and registered in Liberia 10 months after the contract was awarded. 4. The revenue share granted to TIA was increased to 49%, despite its initial bid proposing 35%. 5. The contract was extended for an additional 20 years without demonstrable value for money. And 6. Fraud was established in the procurement process, rendering the contract void ab initio. In light of these findings, and pursuant to the executive order issued under my authority as President of the Republic of Liberia, I request that the legislature take appropriate legislative action to de-ratify any prior legislation or endorsement relating to the aforementioned concession agreement. See attachments for findings. This action is imperative to safeguard the financial interests of the Republic, uphold the rule of law, and restore integrity to our public procurement systems. I trust in the honorable legislature's wisdom, patriotism, and commitment to transparency and accountability, and also to act calmly in this matter. Sincerely, Joseph Juma Parker Sr., President of Liberia. With attachments.
Distinguished colleagues, you listen to the reading of the communication from the President of Liberia requesting for legislative action to de-ratify the TIA LTA concession agreement, and accompanied by attachment and justification that should inform our action should we so decide. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Devon Smith, Rosas County.
Mr. Presiding, distinguished senators, I move that if I can obtain a second, that a communication from the President of Liberia be having legal implications be given to the Judiciary Committee for review and advice to the plenary of the Senate in 2 weeks.
It has been moved and seconded, and without restating the motion, are you ready to vote? Ready. Senator Wilson Garfield, the Gambaza County.
Thank you. Mr. Distinguished colleagues, the language, I don't know what is de-ratification.
Why are you approaching? Please go on already.
I know of repeal, and to say de-ratify, the mover has said it has legal implication. What legal implication that communication has? So I think we should note that communication.
You will be ready to vote? Once you're already
I'm ready to vote. You just come to be potent. You just come from being potent.
You will be ready to vote?
Let's go. Okay, President. Are we ready to vote?
If the mover,
Senator
are
Slow,
we ready to vote?
Senator Slow, please approach the president.
If the leadership takes cease of this communication,
Yeah.
approach the president on this communication.
Okay, can I floor with session? What's your awareness? You went consult? Okay.
All the unreadnesses. Presiding,
After properly consulting with the Protem Emeritus, the recent Protem that left it.
who pass it?
I know, but I have an idea, so I know. I respectfully rest my case.
Any other awareness? Senator Nyatwan of Nima. What do you know?
No, you see, at the parallel, you let Kenyan people. I will be ready to vote on two amendments, if accepted by one, that not only that the Committee on Posts and Telecom be on that committee as a joint committee, as a sector committee, but you play the lead role backed by the judiciary. You're not a moving. What you got? It's a sector issue. It's a committee, the lead committee. Our sector should play a secondary role to the judiciary committee or our sector. No, Jibon don't lie except my do proposal and move on. That the Post and Telecom be on the committee and to play a lead role backed by the judiciary committee. And that's a double issue here. The legal way is gone. Yeah, Mr. President, sorry. But tell Senator Slow now, you can hijack people.
You are moved, right? You are moved. I mean, you are still at your awareness. I think you have flow with something. Movement. The awareness is that the Postal Affairs Committee, the movement will speak. Movement. You heard your awareness.
Mr. Presiding, distinguished senators, the unreadiness stated by the distinguished senator from Nema County, the inclusion of the Telecommunication Committee is accepted, but the judiciary take a lead as a legal instrument.
Any other unreadiness? Any other unreadiness? With the unreadiness is clear, are we ready to vote? With the unreadiness is clear, are we ready to go? All those in favor say yes. Against? Anti? I mean abstain. Secretary of Senate proceed.
Report from Senate committees. Report from the Joint Committee comprising the Committees on Public Operations and Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petitions. Unquote. Liberia Sea and Inland Ports Decentralization and Modernization Act, unquote.
Huh?
Recommendations. The Joint Committee unanimously recommends to the plenary of the
Senator
Senate
Dama, Fabula, please.
for the passage of said bills entitled the Liberia Sea and Inland Port Decentralization and Modernization Act. Signed, Senator Anthony K. Emmanuel Nukwe, Chair, Committee on Public Operations. Signed, Senator Councilor Augustine S. Chair, Co-Chair. Signed, Senator Sir H. Joseph, Member. Signed, Senator Zoe Emmanuel Penham, Member. Signed, Senator Simeon B. Taylor, Member. Signed, Senator Joseph K. Jala, Member. And signed, Senator Johnny K. Kwehe, Member. For the Judiciary Committee, signed, Senator Councilor Augustine S. Chair. Signed, Senator Joseph K. Jala, Co-Chair. Signed, Senator J. Emmanuel Nukwe, Member. Signed, Senator Simeon B. Taylor, Member. And signed, Senator J. Alex Tyler, Member. Mr. Presiding Officer.
Okay, colleague, having had consultation, I will defer A and B, the decentralization of the seaport and inland ports and the regulatory, will defer them to Thursday to distribute the metrics and get colleagues prepared. So we'll defer A and B on our reports for standing committee to Thursday. Secretary of the Senate, people see, we see him. Start from there, we'll proceed. The report from the Committee on the Decent Work Act, is it distributed? The report from the Labor Committee on the Decent Work Act, is it distributed?
It's not distributed, it's still with judiciary.
No, Mr. Secretary, what's the report? Is this report distributed? No. Okay, we'll defer to Thursday. Let's not forget Thursday we'll have a big hearing. So we'll defer everything to Thursday. Yeah?
It's about we were latches because when we open the agenda for amendment,
Yeah.
raise it. Yeah, but we raise the issue now.
Yeah, but administrative level and the presiding person. Let's go to EFGH. Confirmation hearing. Report. We'll come out of D. Go to EFGH. We'll come back to D.
Committee on Lands and Mines on the confirmation year of Honorable Aro Matoneke Timba, Minister Designate of the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Recommendation. In view of the foregoing, and given the fact that the nominee has the requisite academic credentials and extensive work experience, the Committee on Lands and Mines is pleased to recommend to the plenary of the Liberian Senate that the Minister Designate, the Minister of Mines and Energy, Honorable Aro Matoneke Timba, be confirmed as Minister of the Minister of Mines and Energy. Done in committee room this 17th day of November 18, 2025, respectfully submitted and signed by all members of the committee.
Go to all the mines. And consolidate.
Report from the Senate Committee on Lands and Mines on the confirmation year of Honorable Sumo Samuel Momolu, Assistant Minister for Mines Designate of the Minister of Lands and Mines. Recommendation. The Committee on Lands and Mines is pleased to recommend to the plenary of the Liberian Senate that the Assistant Minister for Mines Designate, Minister of Mines and Energy, Honorable Sumo Samuel Momolu, be confirmed as Assistant Minister for Mines, Minister of Mines and Energy. Done in committee room this 17th day of November 18, 2025. Signed, members of the committee. Third one. Report of the Senate Committee on Lands and Mines on the confirmation hearing of Honorable Samuel J. Somerville, Assistant Minister for Mineral Exploration Designate, the Minister of Mines and Energy. Recommendation. That the Committee on Lands and Mines is pleased to recommend to the plenary of the Liberian Senate that the Assistant Minister for Mineral Exploration Designate, Minister of Mines and Energy, Honorable Samuel J. Somerville, be confirmed as Assistant Minister for Mineral Exploration, Minister of Mines and Energy. Signed, members of the committee. Mr. Presiding Officer, the last one is from the Minister of Internal Affairs on the confirmation hearing of Madam Fatima Binta Salif, Deputy Minister for Urban Affairs Designate of the Minister of Internal Affairs. Recommendation. Having examined the credentials of the nominee, coupled with her demonstrated ability.
After consultation with the after consultation with Senator Chair who raised the issue. It was brought we'll proceed.
Having examined the credentials of the nominee, coupled with all demonstrated abilities to respond to inquiries, supported by their conduct during the hearing, it is the considered opinion of the committee that Madam Fatima Binta Salif, Deputy Minister for Urban Affairs, the Minister of Internal Affairs, be confirmed to the position as mentioned above. Signed, members of the committee. Mr. Presiding Officer, the reading of the full confirmation hearing for the Minister of Lands and Mines and Internal Affairs.
Distinguished colleagues, you listen to the reading of the reports and recommendations from the committees on land, lands and mines. That one is Secretary Mines and Energy for the endorsement of their report to confirm Aaron Martinez Timban as Minister of Mines and Energy, Sumo Samuel Momolu as Assistant Minister of Mines and Energy, Samuel J. Somerville, Assistant Minister for Mineral Exploration, Ministry of Mines and Energy, and Ms. Fatima Binta Salif, Deputy Minister for Urban Affairs, Ministry of Internal Affairs. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Prince Moyi.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding, distinguished colleagues. Having listened to the confirmation reports on the 4 nominees, I move, if I can obtain a second, that the Senate take a vote on the record on these nominees for our approval. If I can obtain a second.
It has been moved and seconded that the committee reports as read be received, endorsed, and that voting be conducted on the record. Are you ready to vote?
Yeah.
Secretary Senate, please conduct the vote on the record. Are you ready to vote?
Ready. Who passed already?
But we'll finish passing, so I can't vote now. We'll vote it on the record.
Yeah.
You vote, or you vote consolidated. If you want to separate, you can do.
Monserrado County. Senator Sahadis Joseph.
I vote yes.
Grand Bassa County. Senator Besonga and Finley.
Who the one people?
They only have general. Look at E, F, G, H.
They see me vote the day before. I remember vote.
Why you vote on the record?
My vote on the record is yes.
Okay.
Sando County. Senator Councilor Augustine S. Chip.
But I'm voting, I desire. When I start voting, I will vote. When I start,
Senator Quinton O. Duncan. Maryland County. Senator James Level Brown. Senator James P. Barney. Grand Kidman County. Senator Simeon Berman Taylor. Senator Gaba M. Vapla. Senator Gaba M. Vapla.
Yes, sir.
Bon County. Senator Prince Kamon Moy. Senator Johnny K. Pay. Nima County. Senator Nyan D. Twine Jr. Yes. Senator Sandra J. Koga.
I don't know yet to be not
Grand Bassa County. Senator Zoe Maya Penham. Senator Thomas Yaya Newman.
from which country?
Grand Gillette County.
Is that Bassa?
Name the proper country, then I will vote.
Senator Zoe Maya Penham. Grand Gillette. Senator Thomas Yaya Newman.
I vote yes to all.
Lofa County. Senator Councilor Joseph K. Jala. Senator Momoti Saros.
Yes to all, please.
Bombing County. Senator Eric Neville Snow Jr.
Because I don't want to look at it.
Senator Snow, please look at report on us.
You requested, I seen this last week. You had a journal in front of you.
You have to read it to him.
So we're going to be, last week, you requested it.
Honorable Aaron Matoneke Timba, Minister Designate.
Yes, I vote yes.
Honorable Sumo Samuel Momolo, Assistant Minister.
I vote yes.
Honorable Samuel J. Somerville, Assistant Minister for Mineral Exploration.
I vote yes.
And Madam Fatima Binta Salif, Deputy Minister for Urban Affairs, Designate Minister of Internal Affairs. No. Fatima Binta Salif. Madam Fatima Binta Salif, Deputy Minister for Urban Affairs and the Minister of Internal Affairs.
Senator Koga, can remain seated. Senator Flo, please vote. No, we can proceed.
Margaret County. Margaret County. Senator James Mayanukwe. Senator Nathaniel F. McGill. Riverside County. Senator Wellington Javon Smith.
Yes for all.
Senator Bill Tia Tuawe.
But if the senator has the right to know who he's voting for. So you read the name for them. That's the rule. Read the name. Yes. The vote cannot be clear. You don't know what you voted.
Yes.
Honorable Sumo Samuel Momolu.
Yes.
Honorable Samuel J. Somerville.
Yes.
Madam Fatima Binta Salih.
No.
Should I be giving the audience insinuation? What Senator Koga have to do with this? Your people see what they vote.
Grand Crew County. Senator Professor Abba Tupachie. Senator Niminati H. Batukwa. River G County. Senator Jonathan Bocha Sigwe.
4 yeses.
Senator Francis S. Dopu II. Bapulu County. Senator Bodo Kame.
Yes, sir.
And Senator Amara Kame. Mr. Presiding, 19 senators voted for Maktumuri Tembel as minister, 17 voted for Binta Salif, 19 voted for so 19 for the 2 assistant ministers and the minister proper, 17 for Minister Binta.
With the result of the vote and none of the nominees, Senator Chawen, 1 minute, please. And none of the nominees to occupy any position with the vote of 19. In keeping with our rule, the nominees are confirmed. The others, 17 is simple majority, 16 is simple majority, 17 is confirmed, 19 is confirmed. It will have been 20 or more if there were 10 jobs. That's the rule, right? Yes. So with the result of the vote count, the nominees are hereby confirmed. Secretary of the Senate, please communicate the decision of the Senate. Please communicate the decision of the Senate to the executive. Let's ask them.
Report of the Joint Senate Committee on Ways, Means, Finance and Budget, and Education and Public Administration. And I to ratify the financing agreement between the Republic of Liberia and the International Development Association. Commonly known as the Access Project for the transformative investment in Liberia's education system, strengthening foundation learning, infrastructure, human capital development, improving foundational learning outcomes, and improving school infrastructures for promoting equitable access to a gender-friendly school environment. The Access project is designed to be implemented over the period of 5 years, beginning 2025 and ending 2030. The total budget is $88.7 million US, of which $60 million is an RDA credit or loan from the World Bank. $28.7 million GPE grant is a grant from the Global Partnership for Education. Recommendation. In view of the foregoing and considering the purpose of this financing agreement and its predetermined outcomes, the Joint Committee on Ways, Means, Finance and Budget and Education and Public Administration jointly recommend that plenary of the Liberian Senate ratify this financing agreement to give its full force and effect to the provisions as contained therein. Done in committee room this 13th day of November AD 2025. The Senate Committee on Ways, Means, Finance and Budget and Education and Public Administration signed. Mr. Presiding Officer, the reading of the report of the Joint Committee on Ways, Means, Finance and Budget and Education and Public Administration on an act to ratify the financing agreement between the Republic of Liberia and the International Development Association on the Access project.
Distinguished colleagues, you've listened to the reading of the report from the Joint Committee comprising the Committees on Ways, Means, Finance and the Budget, and Education and Public Account for an act to ratify the financing agreement between the Republic of Liberia and the International Development Association, RDA, a program advancing youth what is it? You what? Okay. What's your will and pleasure? Senator Nyatwan.
Mr. Presiding, without restating the title of this, I proposing the ratification of the financing agreement between the Republic of Liberia and the IDA, and given the significance it will bring to our youthful population in terms of investment, entrepreneurship, I move, if I can obtain a second, the Senate take a vote to ratify this agreement.
It has been moved and seconded that the Senate will take a vote to ratify this agreement. Are you ready to vote? So, since we're ready to vote as a body, I will suggest that the Ways and Means Committee will give us a summary. The motion says we should receive this report and vote. So it means that we are not debating the report. So I'm saying the Ways and Means should give us summary of what the agreement is. Hello? Hello? You know, for our own good and for public record, let's get summary.
Okay,
Thank you. Then we'll vote.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding.
Mr. Presiding, distinguished senators. Yeah, this financing agreement is one of the best. Like I said the last time, this loan was negotiated with interest-free, 0 interest, payable over 50 years. Carry, I know everything in my head. Payable over 50 years, 10 years grace period. And then the $60 million IDA loan will unlock $28.7 million GPE funding. GPE is the Global Partnership for Education. So you're going to unlock that, and that's a grant. So the entire package is $88.7 million. And the way the project is designed, out of the 88.7 million, each electoral district in the Republic of Liberia will have 500,000 infused in it in different educational programs. It means that when you have a junior high, when you have an elementary school that is populated and you need to build an annex, that will be identified. If you have school that is far from a park, project is designed to make distances easier for school-going children. It will also provide in-service training for teachers that are not up to the standard as per the ministry's guidelines. By C certificate, they will have in-service training. So it's good, and I just pray that this plenary can endorse it so that the Ministry of Education can begin to effect the execution of this project. As you know, we are already late. It's supposed to start in 2025. We are very close to the end of 2025. So it's a 3-year project, and I think we have to give our approval for it to be ratified and for the World Bank to begin to release the funding so that this project can start. Thank you very much.
With that summary, are we ready to vote?
I'm ready.
Senator Koga, already. State your readiness. Senator Koga, don't mind Senator Jala. He let it play the beat noisy.
To the movement, I will be ready to vote if you can accept this amendment. Owing to the fact that loan is a credit, water-free interest, you got to pay it back. I will be ready to vote if the report from this committee can be circulated amongst all members of this August body. And then on Thursday, we can make a determination. I'll be ready to vote.
Senator Koga. Senator Koga. Senator Koga. No, 1 minute. Hello. No, but before we go to the movement, but you don't be blown your own already. Senator Koga, before we go to the movement, we have a duty as presiding to make clarity. Last week, the matter came on the floor. And we said, for the understanding of all senators, their report should be circulated so that today is on the agenda for voting. The report was circulated. Voting. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Against?
Motion. We did a motion already. The presiding will
Will they vote again? The loan is hereby ratified. Mr. Secretary, please act accordingly.
Thank you.
What information? After the vote? There was motion. The motion. Okay, in keeping with the rule, when dispute over the vote, any senator can ask for a new vote. We'll vote on the record. Secretary, please call the roll. It's in the room. It's in the room. No. 1 minute. Any senator on the floor can challenge yeah and nay. That's the rule. In the rule. We're not a rule when you are voting. Where the yeah is that clear? No. Wait, 1 minute, police. The discussion of the presiding is to determine whether you are yeah or nay. Yeah, but our senator say it's not clear. The rule, so that's on the record. That rule, the rule, but they were using it when you approach them. That's on the record. Sorry, people on the road, on the record. Road taken for the vote. Monserrato County. Monserrato County. Senator Sahali. I vote yes.
I never waste people's time.
Sano County. Senator Councilor Augustine S. Chie. Senator Christoph O. Duncan. Maryland County. Senator J. Rebel Brown. Senator James P. Barney. Grand Cabon County. Senator Sima Boyman Tida. Senator Daba M. Bapla. Bong County. Senator Prin Kiamumoy.
Yes.
Senator Johnny K. Payne. Nimba County. Senator Nyadi Twayantinia.
Yes.
Senator Samuel G. Koka.
Yes.
Grand Julia County. Senator Zoe Emmanuel Peno. Senator Thomas Yaya Nimlen.
Yes.
Lufa County. Senator Councilor Joseph K. Jala. Senator Momoti Saros.
Yes, please.
Poming County. Senator Edwin M. Snow.
Oh, yes.
Senator Ellie Jenica Tyler. Mike Givey County. Senator Anthony Emmanuel James Nukwe.
Oh, yes.
Senator Nathaniel F. Mangill. Riverside County. Senator Wellington Gibbon Smith.
Yes.
Senator Bill Tia Twawe.
Yes.
Grand Crew County. Senator Abba Tubeche.
Yes.
Senator Numani T.H. Batukwa.
I say I vote with caveat. So why is that? So what is your vote? Yes or no? I told you that Mr. Presiding, that let me state my alreadiness. You didn't give me the chance. So how you? That's not your vote. How do you vote? That's what I'm saying. I vote with caveat. Reservation.
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 Okay.
Riverview County. Senator Jonathan Portas Subwe.
I vote yes.
Senator Francis S. Dobo II.
Bakulu Kante, Senator Boto Kane, and Senator Amara M. Kone. Mr. Presiding and distinguished senators, 20 senators voted and 1 were copied.
With 20 senators voting yes, 1 not clear, the vote is hereby taken. The law is hereby ratified, concurring with the House of Representatives. Secretary of the Senate, please take the appropriate action to inform the House so that the House can inform the President keeping with the protocol. Any confirmation or hearing today? Okay. Motion to adjourn. All in favor say yes.
Thursday public hearing on the oil blast, Oranto and Total. Thursday immediately after session. Oranto public hearing.